Perfect. And we are on live. First of
Good
all,
afternoon.
yes, thank you for being on today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. And I know that we can't see a lot of you guys, so if you guys are available to share your screens, go ahead and do that. We'd love to see your beautiful faces.
Come on through, honey-do.
And I want to introduce Danielle and Allison. Danielle herself has over a decade of experience in finance, responsible for profit and loss statements of many corporations throughout the years, CEO of a corporation, and 4 businesses, not 1, but 4, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. And you are going to share with us the skills and the knowledge required to establish, grow, and protect your business. And I love your mission of helping others do this for themselves, because so many times we don't know where to start. So I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. Me too. Again,
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us. And ladies, for those of you who are on, I'm so excited for today. I know you're going to get a lot out of this session. I am going to start sharing my screen. But before I do, I just want to give you a little bit more of a background on myself and our marketing strategy manager, Allison. So why I even got into what I'm doing is because my father unfortunately passed away in 2015. I was pretty young and had to go through a lot of legalities, nuances within the law and nuances within finances and all these areas. He owned a business for 30 plus years in construction, and pretty much everything went to the state. So that forced me to figure things out, being the oldest child, and learning so much in that time, and not just learning it and not using it, but my passion is to share all of what I've been blessed to learn in the last, my whole life. We go through life learning things, and I believe, and Allison believes as well, is like, if we don't share what we learn, like, it's not worth the knowledge. It's not worth having, right? It's only worth having if we're actually using it. And so I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me know. Oh, can you switch it? Make me the first. Okay. And
All right.
Ladies, for all of you on, like, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and learn more. It tells me a lot about, Jackie and, the legacy she's creating for herself and those around her, and that, you just want to empower others to do more, empower yourselves. It's a part of self-care. So I really respect you all for being here and taking the time out of your day to learn more. I hope you can get a lot out of this. I know you will. And also, it hits really deep for me, because in my background, being in the corporate world, I've worked for many companies like Total Women Gym and Day Spa, Equinox, 24 Hour, Wells Fargo, all of these companies. But my most rewarding experience was working for All Women's Gym and Day Spa. There's nothing like women coming together and empowering each other to create a positive impact on this world, and have that level of comfortability where you don't stay stagnant, but you're comfortable enough to share, right? No matter what it is, we all go through similar things at different ages in our lives. So let's not be, feel shameful or like we can't share anything. So, can I share my screen now? Okay. Let's get into it, ladies. Can you see my screen?
We can see your screen.
Great. So we were a company called Prosperous Solutions. Again, my name is Danielle. This is Allie. And we believe that your path to prosperity towards becoming a business owner starts here with us. We're going to give you the guide required to get you to the place you want to be in this life if you want to be a business owner. And we believe that, a path, that's what life is. It's a path, a never-ending journey. And we hope that going through this path with us will get you to a place of prosperity in your life. We are going to touch on branding a little bit today too. So I just want to point out to you our branding there, our logo, why it's so huge on this presentation is because we want to explain to you, the P represents the P for prosperous, but the S in the middle represents solutions. And, that looks like a path. And so we'll talk a little bit more about branding and how it can speak to your audiences. But it's our objective here at our company to provide solutions to business owners that are going to make them prosperous at the end of the day. So today the topics that we're going to cover are something we called Prosperous Planning, are determining your values, envisioning what you want, making it happen for yourself, some fact. We'll give you some resources that we mentioned throughout our time here, and hopefully you feel like at the end of this you can reach out and you have two new friends. So when it comes to planning to provide prosperity to yourself and your family as a business owner, you want to establish your plan. Then you want to establish your business, so the logistics of that. Then you want to grow your business, and then you want to protect your business. So now that we've covered kind of the areas we're going to talk about today, I'll have Allie jump right into determining your values. And also, Allie, can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So I'm Allison, and I am currently a full-time college student, but I actually met Danielle at a sushi bar. Yeah, we met each other at a sushi bar, which was super interesting, which is a very important thing. Always make sure you make connections. You can make connections anywhere you go. And from a sushi bar, she has literally changed my life in probably the most amazing way possible. And when I was talking to her, I just realized we had like the same values. We want to help people. And she also was in the field that I really wanted to get into with finances. And so that's how we kind of got started. I started out as an intern and we just really connected. We are kind of like the same person at a different age. We have the same values. We have like the same mindset, and we just want to grow and help each other with businesses. She's helping me with mine. I'm helping her with hers. And we just kind of like bounce things back and forth off of each other. And we're a really solid team. So,
and we want to make a huge impact.
Yeah.
It's not just my value, but hers as well on women being in business.
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for women in business. I feel like that there's just not enough women, and we have so much to like give and so much knowledge. I mean, women literally run households, and like that's in my opinion like way more hectic than an actual business. Like women can do anything, especially in heels. So I'm a huge advocate for that, and I just want people to feel empowered and understand that they can honestly do anything that they put their mind to. I'm 21 years old and I'm starting my own business, and if you told me that a year ago, 6 months ago, I would have laughed at you and be like, yeah, you're funny. Like, but no, when you have like a good team around you and you're dedicated and you really have your mindset, you can do absolutely anything. But that actually brings me to determining your values. So when you start your business, this is a huge, huge thing for me. But to get clear with your values, just know this journey is not about you. It's about what you can be of service to people. But what I love to think about is, what do you value personally? Like, is it respect, integrity, or what do you value, like family? Do you value your exercise? What do you value personally? And then what do you value as a business owner? What do you think a business owner should value? Dependability, responsibility, whatever you think you as a business owner would value. And then also think of it on the other side. As a customer, what would you expect a company to value? Like loyalty, honesty, dependability with the products you're using. But a little bit of an example that I want to use is one of our friends. They're a nail tech company. They're two best friends. They started their business, very small, very local, and their value was intimacy, having and building relationships with their customers. And they always had that as their value, and their customers valued them as a company because they're like, they really cared about me. They want my relationship, and they loved that. But once they kind of picked up business, got busier, their rent was raised, they were like, okay, we have to start like pushing clients and get more people in. And they kind of lost that relationship with the customers, and the customers kind of lost that connection with them. It was like, okay, I kind of go to like a local place for like that intimacy, for that relationship. So when the pandemic happened, little light at the end of the tunnel, they realized that they were losing that value that they wanted originally for their business, and their customers were starting to realize it. So they kind of stepped back. They got rid of their lease, and they started out in their living room, and they are extremely happy because they're building that relationship again with their customers. Their customers are feeling that intimacy again with their people that they're going to. And honestly, they said, and I've talked to them about it, it was the best decision they could have made. And I think that's a really important part, is just to remember your values and don't lose sight of that. And always take your personal, what you think a business owner should value and what a customer is going to expect from a business. Take that into account so it's dispersed and equal, and you're not too heavily reliant on one value. And then to bring that together, you have to construct your brand's mission statement from that, because your brand's mission statement is going to kind of like determine what your value is to the customers and to your audience. And what I want to leave off with is this quote. It says, values are like fingerprints. Nobody's are the same, and you leave them all over everything you do. So everyone's values are going to be a little bit different, but everybody you touch will have that on them. Everything you do, your fingerprint is left on them, and it makes an impact. The smallest value, just like simple respect, leaves a huge impact on everything and everybody you see.
Absolutely. And, that's such a deep quote, right? Because, my father, for instance, with his construction business, he put blood, sweat, and tears, and, made people's homes feel more like a home with, the beautiful work he did with his hands and his team's hands. And, he passed his legacy on in different ways. And I just admire that so much about business owners is, you're not just living for yourself, you're living for others to make a huge impact on people's lives. And I think when it comes to constructing your brand's mission statement, to stay in touch with that is crucial, because throughout time, like she said about her, the nail tech we're friends with and her business, is that you can get out of touch with your values too.
Yeah.
If you don't remind yourself constantly.
You like become clouded with the idea of like, I'm a business. But go back and be like, why did I start this in the first place? Like, why did I want to do this? And it's like always going back to your roots. You always want to go back to your roots and remember where you came from. And that's the reason why you are where you are.
Yep. And, something that helps me in life is, reading my goals out loud to myself. We have affirmations. Everyone talks about that on Instagram and whatnot. So, when you're writing out your brand's mission statement, I challenge you, read it every day to yourself when you wake up. Remind yourself of your why. And, there's something powerful with words too, which I'll talk about in a second here. So now that Ali has gone over determining what your values, delving into what that should be, you have to envision, right? Ooh, if we don't have a dream, then we can't have the plan and the business and the action and all that. If you can't take care of you and your mind and just being able to see a vision, I mean, that's where it all starts. And I'm a huge fan of Allison Felix. I don't know if you ladies have heard of her, but I actually went to the same high school as her, and I would see her like every day at school all the time. And sometimes I stayed late because my mom was a single mom growing up, leaving me there. And or she was working in the office and just always had the most positive attitude. I've always looked up to her. And now she's a gold medal Olympian. And, I love this quote from her because it really sets the tone when you're envisioning. And she says, I'm a big believer in visualization. I run through my races mentally so I can feel even more prepared. And we need to do that daily, right? When we're setting a schedule for ourselves, we need to play it out in our head first. We didn't just throw this presentation up and be like, hey, let's wing this one. We kind of ran through the thing, just like basketball players in practice, right? Mm-hmm. Practice doesn't make perfect, but it makes you prepared. And so when it comes to envisioning, there's something else that I really, really want to emphasize. words are so powerful. The words you feed those around you, the words you feed yourself. And I want to tell you a little story. So there was this young girl, and her parents divorced at a very young age. And so that left her to have half of the time with her mom, half of the time with her father. And she always felt like walking away from her mom's house, just positive, uplifted, happy. And every time she would walk away from her father's house, it was a lot different, almost the opposite, feeling down, defeated. And so she wanted to really understand what was going on. And she looked something up online, an experiment she could do. So she took a bag of rice and she labeled that bag of rice love. And she took another bag of rice, put it almost 3 inches from that one, and labeled it hate. And she said, for 3 months to 6 months, let's see how long I can do this. The intention is to put all of the words of love I have into this bag labeled love, and vice versa, right? So fast forward, 6 months later, she looks at the bags, and what do you know? The bag with love written on it had little specks of black. The bag of hate was completely molded. And so this goes to show you, sometimes in life, a lot of us, we only believe if we see things, right? And the thing about an entrepreneur's mindset, most successful entrepreneurs did not need an experiment to prove or to help them believe in whatever they visioned for themselves. That just comes sometimes innate to us, right? That we have this vision, we have this dream, we have this passion, something we want to fulfill in our hearts. And in our heads, we have to talk to ourselves with words of love. Even saying it out loud is even more powerful, right? From that example in itself. But don't be the person that has to see things to believe it. Believe it. Now, getting into some logistics, you have to have an audience. And in choosing your audience, I mean, you're not going to, like, if I own a steakhouse as a business owner, like if I own a steakhouse, my audience is not going to be vegan, right? So you have to get in touch with who's your audience. Also, your brand name. You want to choose, now that we've discussed values, words that resonate with your values. So, for example, Prosperous Solutions. What we value are bringing solutions to people that are going to promote prosperity. And so it's pretty clear in the name itself. Branding. Colors are huge because everything is subconscious, right? That's put out there by media and this and that, marketing. So McDonald's, for example, I don't think it was random that their colors were yellow and red. That was by design, because the marketing behind it and what goes into our subconscious is that red is a color in marketing that promotes urgency. Yellow will balance that out because it brings light, bright energy. Everything has energy, right? And so, even back on vegan, if we're going more environmentally conscientious of what we do, like a lot of vegan brands out there have calmer tones like blue, green. And then, getting a clearer picture of what you want for a store. Like, do you want to be brick and mortar? Do you want to go online? Do you want to be both? I think most businesses at this point are both. But if you want to live the laptop lifestyle, online is going to be that for you. You can travel, spend time with family. I mean, back 10 years ago, I'm preaching like robots are going to take our jobs. And like, my family, certain people think I'm crazy saying that back then. And look where we are today. We're in quarantine.
Almost everything's online.
How many jobs have been lost? How many unemployment claims are there? And robots, truly technology is taking over a lot of like administrative jobs and roles out there. So it's important to think about that and definitely have an online business at this point. But having brick and mortar is great too. It's fun. We're kinesthetic human beings. We like to go and experience things and explore. So the local shop down the corner, you know, we still want to have that too. Hours of operation schedule. Your hours of operation, you're just starting out, more than likely going to be you operating. So what do you want your schedule to be? That's the beauty of being a business owner, is you get to determine that for yourself. But you have to think about your customers too, not just yourself. If I'm like, you know, coming from the mindset of like, oh, I love still sleeping in at 11, do you think that's going to promote success within your business? Absolutely not. You need to get up earlier. Fact. So you have to think about your customers too. You know, if my customers are on the East Coast, which a lot of them are, then I need to be waking up at 6 a.m. and getting on the phones and answering calls and emails because of the time difference. So also team. Do you want a team? We believe in life, like the fastest way to get to the place that you want to, your next goal is with a team, not yourself. You don't know it all. You need to reach out to an expert, you know, or give someone who's just coming out of high school a chance. And create a system. Oh my goodness. Having a system, it goes back to that schedule, that lifestyle that you know, have to determine what do you want. If that's the laptop lifestyle, you could still be glued to your computer, right? I know many Amazon business owners who have to fulfill orders and take care of their customer service, and they're not really like dishing those responsibilities out elsewhere. They're handling themselves and they don't want that. But you have the opportunity to create a system that is going to make money while you sleep. And I don't know if any of you have heard of or familiar with Robert Kiyosaki. You know, he's written a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but he's also written material that's referred to as cash flow quadrant. So basically you have an employee mindset where you have a job. You have a self-employed mindset where you own a job. And then you have a business owner mindset where you own a system, but you're still involved with the business, right? Like the business can't function without you. And then you have the investor mindset where the business operates without you. You're making money even when you're sleeping because you put a system so tight in place that others can follow easily. And you could be anywhere in this world anytime and you're making money. So that brings me to envisioning the lifestyle you want. This is huge, ladies. Like, will your business support your future lifestyle? Because we may not all have the lifestyle we want right now, starting out as a business, right? But man, you got to see where you're going and really ask yourself, everything that I'm going to get myself into, like, are all those steps going to eventually support the lifestyle I want to live? Alrighty, so that brings me into going all in, making it happen. And, you know, this just reiterates what we've been talking about. You can have a dream, but without a plan. And this quote originally was like, a dream without a plan is just a wish, but that's not true. You can have a dream, you can have a plan, but if there's no action, it is just a wish. So that brings me into getting in, starting like out with your name, your domain, registering your business, website. These are some things that like are just, they're not talked about in the open. And it's important to understand that when creating a name, you want like 3 words max. And it depends on the industry. And this is what I mean. So like if you are in the food industry, you're not going to name yourself Small Business Administration, right? No. But those 3 words for the name work because you're working in a more, a different environment with government contracts, etc. So 3 words max are great. And And you want to have a name that's going to be relevant, again, to what you value, the solution you provide your customers. When it comes to establishing your name is also referred to as a fictitious business name, also known as a doing business as, so DBA. And it's important to know that you're marketing your DBA name, which is actually directly tied to your social security number, meaning all liability is on you as you're marketing that business name. And there are ways to remove the liability on you. And we can talk more about that behind the scenes, also maybe in a future presentation. But it's important to know that if you want to establish a corporation, so that's completely different from a DBA. Again, you are an entity. That's what it's referred to. If you're establishing another entity, like a corporation, then you're still keeping the DBA to market that. And the other name, people won't know, so they can't come and sue you for something at the end of the day. I'm going to leave it at that because that can get there's a lot of nuances there. If you do have any questions as we go throughout this, please, I hope, just for time's sake, go ahead and write it down, jot it down in your phone, and we'll answer at the end of this. We've left some time there to have open discussion. Next up would be your domain. So you want to search that your name is available before you even register your name. You want to search that, like, the name you want to market, if that's Prosperous Solutions.
Yeah, you don't want to make sure it's available.
Or tell them yours.
Yeah, so I have student college prep, and it's a little long. We looked for SCP, that wasn't available, so we just went with student college prep, and we looked it up, what was available, so we were able to purchase it and get the domain, and that's kind of how you do it. You want to make sure your name is available, or you're going to have to come up with like an acronym, or maybe use your mission statement, like Danielle's is your path to prosperity. She could have used that, but you just want to make sure it's tied to the business, and make sure it's available for whatever you use.
Yeah, and obviously the shorter the better, right?
Yeah.
Because then people are left like, what was it again?
Yeah.
Okay, Starbucks, that's easy. All right, and we all know that at this point. But sites like GoDaddy, Network Solutions, there's so many out there that you can search the name that you want. Like she said, if it's not available, try an acronym. And you don't want to, they'll give you suggestions of like .net, .me, .horse.
Yeah.
You want to stick with .coms. And the reason why is, number one, .coms have been around the longest, okay? Number two, it just subconsciously, it looks like it's more trustworthy.
People are more comfortable because they see .com the most. So would you trust someone like a .net, a .fashion, a .me? You'd be like, that's kind of weird.
You should, but it's just not the way it goes right now.
Yeah. So whatever people are more comfortable with, that's where they're going to kind of steer towards. So I would stick with .coms.
Absolutely. Next would be registering your business name. So locally, you want to do this with your county and state. And how you can do it are many different ways. You can hire one of our CPAs for just $100 and they'll go make all of it happen for you. Also, what's a benefit of that is you get a registered agent on your actual ownership agreements with the state. So that way their address is listed. If you're just starting out and you don't have a PO box, you can't even list a PO box, by the way. So for your residential address mailing, like if you don't want that to be accessible in some way, shape, or form, then it's important that you get a registered agent to be assigned to your ownership and be able to make amendments at any point. But you want to register with your county and state. If you want to just do it and take it into your hands, it's almost going to be the same cost. So for $34, you can go down to your county recorder's office, or you can go online and register. If you're going to stick to the online, you don't want to get out, and right now, because of quarantine, they're not open, by the way, so you do have to do everything mail in. But, when everything comes back, we can get out and it opens back up, if ever. I feel like almost nothing's, just keeps getting prolonged. But anyways, when your county recorder office opens, you have to wait in quite a line Pay about $34 to get your paperwork, and then you have to publish your name in a newspaper for 6 weeks. Don't get overwhelmed by this. It's super easy. The people that are coming up to you when you're walking out of the court or into it are going to ask you, are you filing a business today? Or just say no, keep walking, because you never know how reliable certain agents out there are, or if they're really, agents who can do this, notaries. I would say go to your local notary or CPA who would have maybe charge $40. Some charge lower, some charge higher. 40 is a good price point to get this done, and it's reliable. But it's basically to say, like, you're putting a new name out there, and if anyone already owns it, they can claim it if it's in the newspaper. And how likely is this to happen? Really, it's not going to happen. No one's going to claim your name. The chances of that are the slimmest. So that's establishing your business legally, locally. Now, federally, if you're going to start out as a sole proprietorship, a partnership, a LLC, a S Corp, a C Corp, all these things, we can talk about what all those mean another time. That's way too much information for right now to get into. But if you want a separate entity, something other than your social security number attached to your name, an entity that can own that, and you own the entity, then you want to file for what's called an employer identification number, also known as the EIN. It's just a tax-paying number, and this you'll provide to your bank. If you don't want to do that and you just want to start out with a DBA, your bank will just take your social security number. But there's a paper that you receive in person or in the mail from a state level that's going to give you like a stamped seal on the back. And that's the document that you would go ahead and take to your bank. And when it comes to banks, you want to choose a bank that's really servicing small business owners, because starting out, you're going to be a small business. Let's be real, even if you're established as an S Corp or whatever. So with that said, it's very important to do the research on like what banks locally will support your business throughout time. We love, US Bank is one of them. There's many. So do the research. And then lastly, your website. You want to ensure that you have, you start out with a site. I know a lot of people like to use Wix, but sometimes, and Wix is great if you're just starting out, but there's little like nuances you need to know about transferability later on. Like if you make any amendments or hire a developer that needs to put you on WordPress, it's hard to switch the host name because of some laws and regulations that are in place. Gives you, sometimes you can't do it for 60 days, 90 days. Something to be mindful of. WordPress is a great first go-to. Now, if you're in an industry like retail and you're just, like selling sweatshirts, then you can just start on Shopify, Amazon. But something that's going to be like more complex, like Ali's site for college counselors online, you need robot integration, you need, animation and things like that. Interactive capabilities, that's going to cost, a website can cost anywhere from as low as $200, I've seen, to upwards of like $5,000. It just depends on your business model, okay, and where you go to hire someone. Because if I'm all about supporting family and friends starting out in business, and if they want to, they have a website design business, I want to support them. But if they don't have at least some examples to show you a portfolio, it's kind of hard. You're going to end up, I've seen oftentimes, wasting your money. So it's important to hire someone with a portfolio that you can refer to, a track record, and ask really open-ended questions where you can gain a lot of insight to what goes on behind the scenes. Also SEO. So this is search engine optimization. As you grow your business, you'll be able to put that money into marketing your business online. So whatever domain that you have, and on the website, whatever keywords are listed, if someone's going to type that in, like my cleaning services are us, and I'm typing in the Google local cleaning services, then if I'm, hiring the right company to work on SEO for me as a business owner, you're going to come up closer to the top. Okay, so next up, let's just hear a little bit of statistics, and we're almost done here. I know that it's almost an hour in, and we want to make sure that we leave time. Anyone who has questions or comments, feedback, that we cover that. So Ali, take it away with a couple.
Okay, so data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics as of February 28th, 2020 shows that approximately 20% of new businesses fail during their first 2 years of being open, 45% during the first 5 years, and 65% during the first 10 years. Only 25% of new businesses make it to 15 years or more. So I just wanted to get some ideas from you guys as to why you think this might happen and why small businesses don't always succeed.
So we're going to go ahead and hear from at least 2 people who have been listening in. Please go ahead and unmute yourselves if you want to go ahead and let us know, like Ali said, what are some reasons why the success rate decreases over time? Jackie, are you there?
I'm here.
Well, I'll ask you.
Ask me. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us go into business blindly, and we're not provided with the information necessary to be able to maintain and keep at it 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years into this.
Absolutely. That's 100% spot on.
Yep. Most people go in not knowing what they're doing, and that's fine if you are willing to educate yourself and gain the knowledge about every little niche in the business. But you can also, what really helps is building a team and getting people that are actually educated in certain areas that a lot of people are not willing to do, and they will fail before they even decide to go that route because they think they can do it all their own, or they think they know it all when they don't. But you need a game plan. You can go in not knowing, but make sure you eventually get a game plan and understand what you're doing, and just gain the knowledge and education that you need. And a lot of people fail to do that.
Absolutely. And, I think we hear it so much now from, people like Ed Milet and Gary Vee and this and that on Instagram of how inevitable it is we're going to fail, right? And so would you rather fail 100 times, or would you rather fail 50 times because you had some sort of expertise chiming in, right? I would much rather fail 50 times than 100, that's for sure. I would have got to where I want to be faster. Yeah. But, gotta enjoy the process too. So these are some of the resources as we wrap up shortly here that we've talked about in this education. So your biggest, or I should say your best resource is going to be your network, right? How many of us are learning now in this crazy time we're living in that, man, we really need to check our sources that we're getting our information from because of the politics that go behind it. Are they credible? But your best solution to that is your network around you. Okay, be mindful of who embodies your network. And so you can take a screenshot of this if you would like for the resources we've discussed here on this call. IRS.gov for registering your business. Same here. This is a huge one for locally if you live in the LA County area. And then some websites, some sites to create your site, and then also some domain sites. G Suite is huge, ladies. So this is a low cost up front to starting your business. If you've ever seen owners who operate with a Gmail, email, that's fine. It works. No one cares these days. But if you want something that just looks a little bit more professional, you can have a G Suite account. super affordable to set up. You can have users, added on to, like, for instance, we have ProsperousSolutionsInc.com. So you could catch me there, D. Nicole at that site, and A. Campbell at that. But G Suite has so many functions, and we've created a YouTube channel where you can see some of this. Go to our YouTube channel, Prosperous Solutions Inc. And G Suite has certain functions that allow you to do things on YouTube. And then you need a CRM, ladies. So Monday.com is a great one for starting out affordable. Zoho.com, Call Tools, BSC Pro, usually a little bit more expensive, like Salesforce, those are expensive. So, starting out, these are some of your options. You need a CRM system. This is so important. Time management is a huge part of running a business and sticking to schedule. So, following up with leads, it's huge. Need a CRM system starting out. Even if that's Excel, cool. But there's just these programs that make things life easier. Also for contracts, right? Because if you're going to bring on people as an independent contractor, there are sites like Law Depot out there. LawDepot.com has agreements written up from law firms that you could just fill in the blanks and download. And then, Legal Shield's a great source for that. We're actually affiliates. So if you need help setting up a Legal Shield account, let us know. They actually fight traffic tickets for you too. So it's not just a business account, there's personal accounts as well. Docusign, amazing, life game changer, okay? Anything legal at this point, we don't see each other in person. We're on Zoom right now. Docusign is huge to running a business and getting agreements signed, whether it's by customers or employees. And then also social media. That's definitely, you got to set up your accounts. So I would suggest when you first search your name and register your domain, all before that is actually making sure those names are available on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Alignable, all of these. Alignable is a great platform for business owners. It's really focused on small business. Well, I hope that helps you a lot, ladies. I'm just going over these little icons down there. It starts with ideas, research, then you plan, then you get your time schedule together. You collab with your network for customers, but also for a team. Then you get a presentation together and give the education out. Then all of that, you've created a system that comes together, and now you can grow, right? And so I just want to leave you with this today, this thought. Don't be impressed by money, followers, degrees, titles. Be impressed by humility, integrity, generosity, and kindness. I hope you all have a prosperous day. I hope you guys feel like you can reach out. You can text us at that number anytime or call. We love a good old-fashioned call. And that's our email. So something we're offering to you to being a part of today for free is actually your business plan. We'll go ahead and create it. We're giving you not just 1 hour consultation for free, we're actually giving you 2. So in 2 hours, you can get a solid business plan together. And for those of you ladies who have participated today, you will be getting that from us. If you would like to go ahead and start a business and need some consulting, email us at info@prosperoussolutionsinc.com, or you can text us, but we need a written message from you that you're a part of Jackie's organization, and we'll make sure that your account is set up with the free consultations for today. Thank you so much for having us. I can't wait to meet you guys when quarantine is over, and go follow us on Instagram, Prosperous Solutions Inc.
That was awesome. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
I even learned some few new things here. Got my notes going on.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so thank you for that. If anyone has any questions, again, like Danielle said, you can unmute yourself or you can just send it in the chat. We love to answer anything that you have. I see Valeria coming on.
Hi,
There she
yes.
is.
Valeria.
My name is Valeria.
Hi,
And I
how are
have
you
some
today?
questions for you all.
Yes, ma'am. We're ready.
Okay, so I reached out. First of all, thank you so much for this presentation. Wow, I am overwhelmed with how much goodness and knowledge you all have. Thank you so much. I reached out to GoDaddy about a website domain, and they said that they would charge me about $200 for me to become the owner. And then on a yearly basis, I'd have to pay like anywhere between $10 to $20 a year. Does this kind of seem accurate?
There's a lot of nuances with registering domains. So GoDaddy we're very familiar with, and we use a lot because it's very affordable. But what the price point you're saying, that's not normal, and here's why. So when you go and search your name on GoDaddy,
yes,
there's a whole industry for this, a whole business model of people buying names and selling them. So now GoDaddy before, like for instance, if I wanted Prosperous Solutions without the ink, I would have had to pay $7,000 at that time to get that domain. Do you think that I was going to do that? Hell no, lady. So I said, well, just got to put the INC. It's a little bit longer. Womp womp. It is what it is. And I was able to get the domain at that time for literally $12 for 2 years. So what I suggest is that you send us a text at that number or email off this call. We'll actually walk you through on Zoom how to do it properly, okay?
That would be fantastic. And I also have another question, which we might need to touch base afterwards too, but I guess dealing with domains specifically, and also like setting up an email address. My initial email address that I'm hoping to have seems like a little bit too wordy and long, but I have seen people that have their businesses Red Apple Consulting, and then their email is nancy@redappleconsulting.com. I guess was curious to know if that's worth it, if that's a smooth process, because I know there is additional investments involved with that too.
Sure, absolutely. Again, G Suite is the best resource starting out, and even a lot of high-end companies use it later on. And the great thing about it is you can make changes anytime. So if I started Allison with an email that says allison@prosperoussolutionsinc.com, I could always go delete that email. Mind you, if I delete that email, any data history that we've had for her in that email, there's crucial documents needs to be extracted first. Otherwise, you're deleting all of it, and you're starting a new one for acampbell@prosperoussolutionsinc.com. So it's important. I think all of this here is the point is to prepare yourselves properly so you don't have to make so much work for yourselves later on. And so if you can just start out with acampbell@prosperoussolutionsinc.com, then do that. Because what if, when you do grow, you're adding on more and more employees. Now there's 4 Allisons. It's not fair for the original Allison to have Allison. That's not fair.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. It's such a pleasure meeting you, Valeria, and I hope we can connect off screen.
Yep, absolutely.
You got it. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's all the questions that we have for now.
Those were phenomenal questions, Valeria. Shout out to you. Awesome.
Yes.
Sorry,
I've been thinking about it. Thank you.
Hi, Jackie. I had a question really quick.
Yes.
So, hi, my name is Jennifer, and I agree with
Jennifer.
Valeria. Thank you for hosting this because it's so good information that I didn't even know I needed, but I'm so glad.
Thank you. We're so happy to hear that.
Just wanted to know, I was doing some research on the LLC, and it was overwhelming information. So my question is, what is it that I would have to file? Because I read that if you file with your name in the title of your business, you have to file a certain document. And if you don't include your name in your business name, you have to do something else. So I was just a little confused and wanted, if you have the answer for that clarification.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing and thank you so much, because that's a really great question. I think the biggest thing when establishing a separate entity, like an LLC, is most people do it for not only tax purposes, number one, but number two, privacy issues and liability. So to include your name is not necessary. Having a DBA You know, if you're promoting, if you're busy, if your business is like, I don't know if you're in the LA area and you've seen Adriana's insurance services.
Yeah.
Then that's okay. She probably is operating using a DBA, or if she doesn't know, I don't know. But you can just use a DBA for that. And then whatever LLC you set up should be like something no one knows, like Jennifer's, or maybe like Oak Green's Enterprises, right? Off record. And that entity will own the DBA. So that way it takes the liability off of you. Now, I can't go much further into that with you here because I am not a certified public accountant. However, we have CPAs at our company who are licensed to do what they do. They're certified to do what they do and speak on tax-wise and how you should set up. So I would recommend definitely getting in touch with us either via email or text. So that way we can set up a time for free with you to consult with one of our CPAs on how you want to set that up. Also, it depends on your industry too, because if you're using your name in the insurance services or something, there are a lot of nuances with the department, the California Department of Insurance and different organizations like that put more regulations out there because that's their business model, right? Make money off of fees. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'll definitely follow up with you guys.
Okay, great. It's such a pleasure hearing from you, Jennifer. I hope you have an amazing day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if we have one more. We'll give it 3, 2,
Yeah, we have time for about one more.
1. And I think that is it. That's all the questions for today. Thank you, ladies, so much for your time and for providing these resources in that hour, 2 hours actually, to these ladies, because I know what it's like to be starting and not know what to do, not knowing where to turn, not having someone walk you through this. So I appreciate both of you. Thank you so much. And we'll have to definitely do a follow-up on this. So
yeah, let's do it because, you know, this is just establishing the business. We would love to talk about everything on growing your business and then protecting your business. And I love what you said, you know, for us being here and the amount of time that we're going to give to your group for free. It's because we truly, truly want to promote more women business owners. We're not biased. We don't hate men, but we're definitely feminists. And there's only like 30% women business owners in the marketplace, which is a huge, huge it's progress from the last 2 decades, but we should be a lot more.
Yeah, and having someone to guide you through that is huge. Yeah. Amen. So thank you again, ladies.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. We feel really honored.
Yes, and this recording will be available for you guys to send out to anyone who didn't catch it. If you're on the call and need it for later, you're gonna have it. So I will send that to you guys later today.
Okay, and I just want to have your permission that we're able to share this in that capacity. That's okay.
That's totally okay. You share it.
Okay, anywhere. Okay, cool.
Awesome. Thank you all. We'll stay in touch.
Have a prosperous day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for putting this together.
Of course.
You're amazing.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Later.